So on this, the day we record the Devil's Game, we observe the rebirth of Jesus. Happy Easter Sunday, everyone.
You know, I was thinking about that for an intro earlier myself. I just didn't go through with it. It nailed it.
God, it's so funny seeing this after so long.
Yeah, no kidding. Also, probably, yeah, boys, what is up? Welcome back to Let's Play Sengoku Basara, and yeah, we just actually started posting the game this week as well. And some slight audio hiccups. It's okay, we work on those. Yeah, glad to see that some people are enjoying us returning to the series, and also just funny. I've also been getting some comments on some of the older stuff, like when we did Yukimura Den, so that's kind of funny.
It's small, but there's engagement there.
Yeah.
I don't remember if I mentioned this the first time or not, but looking at Psyche there in that field of drop pistols, for some reason I always thought they were jalapenos.
I mean, honestly, given the definite Mador motif for her usual outfit, I can kind of believe it. I can kind of see it. I do like this crystal can she finds herself in.
Man, it's really interesting bookending this in this way. Finally seeing the devil come to after, you know, all of that stuff that kind of doesn't matter that took up the core of the game. And then finally seeing what was happening in the background, that it was all leading to this.
I want to say I'm not even sure how to go about describing it. Like, it's kind of neat. It's more so like I would expect out of Devil May Cry, personally speaking, like in terms of like having the subplot going on. But oh yeah, it literally is Devil May Cry thing. Now I think about it.
It's really funny too, considering I've spent years with you on this game, and this is the first time you're seeing most of the actual story.
Yeah, because usually when you're showing the game to me, you usually default to showing off Mitsunari stuff and maybe some fun combos with the other boys, and that's about it. I usually don't get much more into the service levels of the game with you.
And this is the part where you get DMCA'd because I insert the trailer.
Yeah. It's
that
okay.
one was
I wasn't expecting much money from this playthrough anyway. It's totally cool.
That one was actually on me. I'm pretty sure that was entirely because I put that trailer in there.
It's just really... So, to give clarification, Brandon's talking about this copyright Ping actually got for showing the trailer, I guess? It was a trailer of some kind back in part one. It's just ridiculous that even pinged, because it's like, this is from 2011. What the fuck, guys?
Yeah, that's fucking stupid.
Yeah,
which is a damn
intro.
shame, because I actually like the idea of putting the trailer thing at the beginning of games. I wanted to roll with that more, but now I'm just not going to get the chance if something like that could happen again.
Yeah, dude, it's just like, you know, Capcom, this is part of the reason why it's hard for Boss to gain traction in the West, because the main advertising platform, YouTube, they disincentivize you pushing shit there, so oopsie. Anyway, Oda.
Nobunaga's mortuary is open for business. It said there on one of his weapons. I never noticed that before.
It's hilarious. Okay, so Oda, man, I really, and I know how contrived this is to say, I really do just get some Devil May Cry vibes off of him, like, the more I just look at him. More specifically, definitely DMC1, with, like, the more classic look to him. Like, just definitely more juddering spikes than anything else, yeah.
Yeah. Only, like, 2 characters' designs have changed since the first game in 2005, so, you know, they all have that classic feel. And hey, we have the Savior!
Boy, Devil May Cry 4, you're looking pretty spiffy today.
I think that might actually be the design of the Savior. I think he actually had a headpiece.
Let's see. I thought the Savior ironically had horns? No? I don't know, man. It's been an eternity since I actually sat down and watched a lot of cutscenes for Devil May Cry 4. But either way, what the hell are we in for with actually going through over the story? I'm curious.
I'm gonna be honest with you. A whole lot of nothing in the middle, and some stuff in the beginning and only at the very end.
We are starting with Oichi, so that's something, I guess.
This is the version where Oda wins, I guess, because he woke up after all that bullshit in the last campaign, and this is the version where he didn't get put back to sleep immediately.
Oh, it's even funnier with the wings.
Him descending out of the sky instead of rising from the ground.
Yep.
There's a weird-ass angle looking directly up at his junk.
Yep. I imagine there's something more there than when you're using the second outfit.
There. My brother has come to find me.
Cool.
Oh yeah, it's taunt. Because I just remembered, oh wait, characters have taunts at the very end of the game. Those taunts actually do serve a purpose. If you taunt enough times, you start actually gaining Basara meter. Oh yeah, and this is my futile attempt to jump over that small ledge to see if I can try to trigger that cage before getting it, before the cutscene.
If you use a different character, that might be doable depending on the move you use.
Probably would have actually worked with Kitaro.
Yeah.
The cage is a gimmick where all throughout the stage there are those cages, and you have to destroy them to free your own captured soldiers.
God, remind me to show you this one boss in Bloodborne called the One what the hell is it called? The One Unborn, I think. Like, the way that she comes out of this, it's very similar to that. And it's just like, God, I'm getting so many vibes of that.
Is this the first time we're doing Oichi's stage? It might be. I don't remember doing Oichi's natural stage, not her alternate stage.
This is we've seen this intro before for her, but also this is definitely the first time we fought her this early.
The sweet
Yeah.
dreams I dreamt.
Because the other version is the one where she comes out at the very end, not at the beginning.
Yeah.
He has arrived.
All right, so the general gameplay idea for Oda here is definitely a lot more simple than what you probably get with a lot of other characters. Like, obviously, this is no Kojiro for sure. This is frankly definitely more on Yukimura's level. He's a lot more of a straightforward character. You press a button, you get an attack. You press triangle, you get a shot attack. I think that's a shoot button, if I'm not mistaken. He's very straightforward, and ironically, for a boss character, like, he's kind of easy to utilize. It's pretty odd.
It's not fun.
He's very simple, but I actually think that's to his benefit rather than being overly complicated, as some other characters are, like Yoshihiro, who has a bunch of chain, mid-chain combos that can link into other things that are fun but definitely complicated. I think it's good that he has a relatively simple moveset that just hits like a truck.
This memory was
Yeah, even like with Masamune, like, he's got the gimmick of you can pull out the 6 swords, but you can't. I'm pretty sure this is a game where you can't guard with him when you pull out all 6 at once. Was it?
Yeah, this is the one where you keep your swords out. You just can't guard with them, so you take more. So it's a risk reward. You take more damage.
Yeah, even that's a fairly interesting gimmick in its own right. Oda does have something kind of similar to that, where he just flat out summons Nero's Devil Trigger, but it's not really
stop until
as complicated as that, where you have to actively be on defense.
So the way the Devil Trigger works in this game is that when you summon it, you move slower, your attacks hit harder, but you're also draining health the whole time you have it active. So it's resource management, I guess, is what you would call it.
Yeah. Just also love how we actually do give him a shot, just give him a shot, not really a gun, it's more like a soft shotgun, honestly. Because obviously, famous 3-line formation, baby.
Yep.
That was honestly a really nice touch of his gameplay.
Famously brought guns to Japan, so we have to make that part of his moveset.
Kind of genius in that regard. Like, you could. Oh, I had a thought. That could almost make him seem like the devil to the samurai as a whole. You know what I mean? Because it's like, here's a gun, the thing that will actively put the samurai out of business as an original concept.
Which is really funny when you think about it, considering we just spent an hour playing as Saika Magarichi and her fucking artillery, her arsenal.
Yeah. Charge shot.
What am I trying? Yeah, yeah, he's the antithesis of the samurai. Antithesis? Antichrist? Eh?
It all comes full circle. Literally has soul edge. Yep.
Right, that's the thing is that his main weapon is basically just soul edge.
Maybe we should also
Which makes it-
let's just
which makes it all
also
the funnier.
continue piling on Devil May Cry references as well. Why the fuck not? So also the fact I'm gonna say because of the fact that this came out in 2010 and Devil May Cry 4 obviously was 2008. I'm gonna say also the way just he plays might also be a slight homage to the way Nero plays as well. And obviously you're familiar with that. He has one arm dedicated to just using Red Queen, one arm dedicated to using Blue Rose. You kind of get that same vibe with Oda as well. There's no overlap between his two arms with the weapons he utilizes.
You're right, actually. I like that. I think he's always been like that, so I'd say maybe Nero took the concept from... Nah. We
It's
discussed
definitely
that
not
in the very
impossible.
beginning.
Like, you could tell me there's continuous overlap in the people who actually storyboard these games, and I can believe you.
A lot of the same people work on both games. It's just that they love the overlap in one direction, but not the other, which is still very annoying.
You know what could be? It could be like Sengoku Basara is where they go crazy and just experiment with different gameplay styles, and then they feed those ideas back into Devil May Cry, like with Nero or with fucking V. Just a wild speculation on my part, but honestly, I could kind of almost believe that.
For a second, I thought you were going to say Sengoku Basara is where they go to have fun and be stupid, and Devil May Cry is where they go to be a serious man's game. And I'm like,
I wouldn't put it in those words, but it definitely... I guess
that's what I thought you were good. That's what I thought you were gonna say, and I was gonna. My response was gonna be like, "Did you not see the Michael Jackson shit for Devil May Cry 5?"
Right? No, the way I'd probably word that is it's Devil May Cry is probably where they go to like highly refine and deepen the idea of a gameplay style. Since obviously, you're not gonna get someone with like Devil May Cry 4 Dante's depth of moveset in Sengoku Basara, but it's definitely where they go to experiment and have a lot more fun with stuff.
Yeah, that's true. This is definitely where they let loose more than anywhere else, I think.
Yeah. And honestly, I find it to be really cool because like you can almost see the idea like formations of like brainstorming for like other Capcom IPs. You can tell me there's a lot of just overlap in general, and I would honestly believe it.
As of this game, I would have said probably not, but ever since For Sumeragi and the advent of the collaboration costumes, I could sort of see it. I could see some of what Ieyasu does coming back in to Ryu's moveset or something, maybe, considering they gave him the Ryu costume in Basara 4.
Yeah.
Things like that, the Monster Hunter costumes. Still want to see a guy in Resident Evil just actually wielding a sword, though, after Kojiro and after Keiji.
God, that would unironically probably be pretty neat, and you could probably use that because fucking some zombies and or BOWs you could probably use a sword on and get more effective results out of.
Just keep those swords away from Ethan, though. He's gonna cut his hand off for a 7th time.
Yep. I mean, the jokes have been made before. Obviously, Chris Redfield with the machete and I was about to say DMC5. With Resident Evil 5, it's basically a sword with the fucking size it is. I'm pretty sure that joke made itself.
Probably, yeah. Which is funny, because, you know, in this version of Basara, Keiji is voiced by Matt Mercer, who plays Leon. Or did play Leon. Leon's gone through like 4 different actors, I think.
Yeah. If I'm being honest, I've never actually really liked Matt's take on Leon. It always came across as like way too old for Leon's character. Is that weird to say?
He's what, like 22?
Yeah, he's like Leon was like probably like 18 or 20 in the event of RE2. I think like maybe mid to late 20s in RE4. He's really not that old when it comes to like the later games. Like we want to say like he's gone through hell and try to draw him as Devil May Cry 2 Dante maybe, but like You're losing a lot when you just have him be like stoic old man. Just like, come on, guys. There's more to his character than this.
Is he the cool guy by 4, or is that when he's still the idiot?
Sorry, what was the question?
Is Leon cool by 4, or is that when he's still an idiot?
He's the best character in the series in 4.
That doesn't answer my question. Is he still stupid in that game?
Okay, it's a yes and no, because on the one hand, he definitely knows his shit. On the other hand, he's also definitely making wisecrack jokes because RE4 does not take itself too seriously sometimes.
Yeah, when he's bullshitting the Napoleon kid.
I've sent my right hand to dispose of you. Your right hand comes off. Yeah, no, RE4 is just fucking amazing.
Still, I can see you.
And then 6 is weird.
Yeah.
It's like everyone is turned on their head, I think.
Yeah, RE6, I feel like we might have had this conversation before, but it's fine. We can reiterate points. This Let's Play is going to be massive anyway. Yeah, no, Resident Evil 6, like, okay, I can definitely say this because I've played the grand chunk of the games. 6 really tries its best to just straight up become like an action movie. Like, Resident Evil originally was kind of made as almost a parody to the zombie movie genre. Like, deliberate parody, but it eventually became the thing it was parodying. So you kind of lost the plot.
It's funny, if you ask Johnny, he says that Resident Evil 6 is basically was trying to be Metal Gear Solid 4.
That's insulting because Metal Gear Solid 4 is actually conveying a story. A good one.
I meant in terms of aesthetics.
Yeah, just really none of the polish to go with it.
Do you still think 6 is a bad game, or just not as good as the rest?
6? I like aspects of 6. Like, if you play Leon, so obviously there's the 3 main campaigns. Leon's campaign is the one that comes closest to actually feeling like a classic Resident Evil, but it's still kind of overblown. What was the guy voiced by Troy Baker named? I think. I don't fucking remember. The Son of Wesker. That one's not horrible, but it's definitely a lot more like action movie meets RE Nemesis. And Chris's is... Oh god. Yeah. For context for people in the comments, before you say I don't know what I'm talking about, I've platinumed Resident Evil 6, so I played it more than once.
I don't understand.
Including on professional difficulty for everyone, so... Yeah, it's... Actually, did I play Ada's on professional? I definitely play on the game in general, but yeah, it's very much not something that it really tries to become Gears of War, but with none of like the actual like fun aspect. You know, your literal traditional cover shooter of that generation. So just all of them.
I still don't know how Gears of War got 5 games.
I think the trick to it is that it's fairly fast and frenetic, and it's also like involved. I think that's the big trick. I'm also a big fan of the Dead Space series, and Dead Space 3 literally falls into the same pit trap where it's like, oh yeah, Gears of War sold well. We have a third-person shooting game. Let's make it a cover shooter. Literally, you play some sections of Dead Space 3 as a cover shooter. I'm not kidding about that. Yeah, it's the thing known for eldritch space horror. You know what it needs? Cover shooting. With humans.
That really was one of the two defining genres of the generation, wasn't it? The cover shooter and the COD shooter.
Dude, the more I think about it, the more I just kind of realize that generation of consoles was just kind of bad in general.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think people realized that halfway through the PS4 generation that, wow, the PS3 and the 360 were kind of garbage.
Yeah, it's like once Uncharted 2 dropped and Gears of War dropped, everything was trying to beat God of War 2, especially with everything having QTEs involved with it. Literally everything was trying to be those 3 games, and it's
Which is funny because I would say that the QuickTime era outside of certain games sort of passed by the first PS3 God of War game, which came out in 2011.
I would generally agree, but there were still a lot of games that were really heavy with QuickTime events. from games I played, Dante's Inferno is basically God of War, but set in Christian hell, which it's fun. But it's like it's still just like so much QTE stuff. Holy fuck.
You look back on it though, how many games are actually notable for QTEs outside of the Storm series? And I mean actually notable for it, like they do something interesting, or that's what you remember about it.
Asura's Wrath?
Yes, but that was also made by CyberConnect.
Fair enough.
So it's basically a Storm game in everything but name.
Sorry, I'm actually paying attention to these armies right now. I just noticed that Oda said something about something called a Nightjar? What the fuck is a Nightjar?
I didn't catch that.
I think he says like he said this song is the song of a Nightjar. Is it a bird? I have zero idea.
Nightjar.
Sounds like an enemy in Final Fantasy 12 I should be aware of.
I shall travel wherever I
Nightjars are nocturnal birds and can be seen hawking for food at dusk and dawn.
Neat.
So it's a bird then.
Okay, I don't know where Oda was going with that line then. I should probably pay closer attention. But yeah, it looks like we got the major formation. The major armies begin to form. Mitsunari is absorbing people. Oh wow, it's big enough. That was quick.
From here onward, Oda doesn't have dialogue with anyone until the final stage in this campaign, and only in his red campaign, which is what I'm doing. He has a blue and a green, and he doesn't get dialogue with anyone, and they're all straight lines each, with no deviation, I don't think.
Ooh.
So it's basically so after his one story, it's basically just an arcade run with Oda. Which, I mean, I sort of get. Most of the new characters, none of the new characters have any connection to him in any manner of speaking, and this is him being revived from the dead, so it's going to be a lot of focus on the past. But I still think it's set up pretty weakly. Which, you know, I guess was par for the course for Capcom circa Devil May Cry 4.
Yeah.
Right, bringing it back. Bringing it back.
Segways, baby. No, I was just thinking to myself that it really... So it went from being like this actually hidden third arc to the story where you have the main one, which is Mitsunari versus Amiyasu. And then the subplot beneath that, which is the ongoings of Masamune and Yukimura. And then beneath that, you have the hidden trails of Oda's revival. But then we actually have the payoff for that arc. And it's like, oh, it's just a what-if story of him going around and owning like all the major armies. That's uninteresting and the easy answer, but all right, sure.
If you want to look at it at face value, the routes that aren't this one are him actually going on his conquest to make every part of the country his own.
Yeah.
If you want to be charitable towards it, still kind of a shame that that they don't really do anything with it. And this is the reason why I kept everything in unedited, because if I just kept it to the story, this would literally only be about 20 minutes, 20, 25 minutes.
Yeah, that's fair. We get a good showcase of Oda's gameplay as well. Also, that percent chance for him to randomly steal health from enemies, really good stuff.
Yeah, that's we were talking about this the last time. Dark Elemental.
Yeah.
The 4 elements are light, dark, thunder, and ice. Yeah.
Yeah, and they all have like percent chances to proc whenever you're doing attacks to them. Yeah.
Yeah, and they do things like freeze or paralyze the enemy or whatnot.
I imagine Dark Element would be particularly fantastic for that quasi bloody palace that Yukimura Den has.
Yeah, actually. Well, that actually does provide... You know, it's actually sort of a weaker bloody palace because that mode actually does offer healing items.
I'm not going to say no to just the sparse healing items you get in those kinds of things, like green orbs occasionally dropping random enemies. That's totally cool, but if you offer it like after literally every single floor that's completed, that's a bit rough on the rough side, yeah.
Yep. Floor.
Oh, not Gary on.
And I haven't... And I pointed it out before, but without any, Oda has the largest health bar in the game. This is his completely unmodified health bar, and it's bigger than anyone else. If I did bother to put the 6 health items on it, it would wrap the screen.
Damn, I wish he actually did that. That would have been like, that would look insane.
I really wish I did too. I might. I don't remember. I think I forgot about it.
I mean, still, the beefy attack power you get with the sword and the gun by themselves for his stats, that's still nothing to sneeze at, but, like, I don't know. Just, like, the comically large health bar that's just kind of bugged out, I would have loved to see that.
Yeah. This is a funny thought, though. They're about to send out the poison gas, and it's like, I'm already dead. What the hell is poison gonna do?
Yeah, essentially. Now, I'm gonna say something pretty stupid, and given that you've played I know we've had this conversation plenty of times. You played the grand bulk of Devil May Cry games, yeah? Pretty sure you have.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so have you played at least 3? I know you've played at least 4 and 5. Have you actually played 1 or seen gameplay for it?
So here's the funny thing that is going to piss everyone off.
Go for it.
The only game that I don't have any major exposure to is 3, the fan favorite.
I should help you fix that. That's like literally my favorite game.
You've tried. You've tried multiple times.
I've mostly just tried hooking you up with a copy of the game, but yeah, I should definitely. Okay, clearly when I come back to Arizona for Thanksgiving, clearly the first thing I'm going to do is just make you sit down and, like, watch me play the game, because I can obliterate that game, like, blindfolded.
I have watched you play it.
But, like, actually seeing through the cutscenes. Okay, so, irrelevant.
Your question.
You have knowledge of 1 at least, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to say what I've always wanted to actually see is I've always wanted to see something done with Mundus, because we know he's not fucking dead. He's just sealed back in the depths of the underworld with the end of DMC 1. What we're doing with Oda, I've essentially always wanted to see done with him.
Yeah, it seems like kind of a wasted opportunity not to go back to that at some point or another.
Because you can only rehash the story involving Sparta so many fucking times.
We've had this conversation before, but the stories in Devil May Cry games tend to be pretty weak. Would you say 5 is also one of the weak stories?
5, I feel like, is one of the needless stories. 3 is definitely the best. 4, it has a good setup, but the problems with a lot of 3, 4, and 5 is that after a while, it's like literally at some point, I was talking to Tahu about this. At some point, it starts to seem like Sparta's more the main villain of the series rather than Mundus at all. Because think about it.
We can do that too.
Because think about it. Like, the power... Arkham saw the power of Sparta in 3. Sanctus saw the power of Sparta in 4. Fucking Urizen / Virgil are seeking more so, like... well... essentially this power of Sparta, but more so like the power that Mundus had in 5. So, like, you can see the issue. It's an unfortunate thing in the series that often called the worst game, which is 2, is also the most unique because it has nothing to do with Sparta's lineage whatsoever.
I like that.
I know, right? It's like, it's so unfortunate that it is the most interesting by default because it has its own lore disconnected from everything else.
The series is too insular. We need new characters.
I completely agree.
Actual characters, not just one-off bosses.
So, as much
and anything that isn't Urizen.
Yeah, right. So it's unfortunate that also in the anime itself, it does actually introduce you to a new character of sorts, but he died. And that would be the actual sword apprentice of Sparta that Dante fights in the anime. He has an actual character. It's wild.
And the ice cream kid.
No, it wasn't the ice cream kid. All of that was also in there. No, it's like some black-haired, generic anime-looking dude that that doesn't really want to fight Dante, and you can tell it that he's definitely good, but Dante has to fight him anyway because he's a demon. So it's like, I see. We are going for that kind of resolution, are we? Okay.
Is that the guy from Devil May Cry 5 that only appears in like one cutscene, but he knows who everyone is?
Nope. Oh, are you talking about the bald black dude? No, he's completely original.
Yeah. Oh.
No, the character that
This
makes
is
the
a-
crossover from the anime into DMC5 is literally Sherry, because she calls Dante at the start of the game, and that's it.
Yeah, series needs fresh blood in every sense of the word.
Dude,
way too
110%. I fully agree, and I say that as the Devil May Cry fan between us. I liked my idea and theories of DMC5 better when I was thinking about them before they were announced. I wanted Urizen to be a son of Mundus, and I wanted to have Sons of Mundus versus Sons of Sparta. Because that would be interesting. More villains.
It's gonna be an odd claim, but it sort of feels like Kingdom Hearts with the Darkseeker saga. The Xehanort saga. How everything ties back into Xehanort every single time without fail.
Not as dumb, but kinda. DMC5 really just happened because Virgil accidentally turned out to be one of the most popular characters introduced.
I get that, but you need... Virgil being the villain just seems boring and dumb, and I thought he was already supposed to have hashed out his problems with Dante.
Right? It's literally just pulling a Dragon Ball Super Vegeta.
Super Vegeta?
Where originally it seemed like Goku and Vegeta completely resolved their issues, and Vegeta was willing to accept Goku as the superior one, and then Super happens with Super Saiyan Gods, and then the animosity comes right back to the surface.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The simpler thing in my mind was Majin Vegeta.
I'm not opposed to that because it's obvious there were always undercurrents of issues between Goku and Vegeta, and Majin just kind of brought them back to the surface before they were actually dealt with. So I'm not opposed to that. No, mine more so is that literally fucking Super just completely brings it back even though everything was supposed to be resolved. Ugh. Oh, he just teleports away for the end. Nice.